Hey everybody, this is Jenny Jan from Fret Sisters, reminding you to hit that follow button up on top. And follow us on social media at Fret Sisters on IG and at Fret Sisters on Facebook. We got a lot of good interviews and topics coming up. So do that. Peace.
What is good, everybody, and welcome to Fret Sisters Between Frets, a space where female musicians who play string instruments meet and discuss all things music. I am Shawnee Marshall, and we have a great show for you today. We have our first female bassist to our show today. We have Teja Veal is with us, and she's originally from Florida, and she moved to Atlanta. She plays in various bands in Atlanta, including an all-female band. She currently is musical director at a church in Decatur and performs and tours with Janae Monet. Hello, Teja. How are you today?
Hi, how are you?
I am great. I seen a lot of your posts on Instagram and all these. Yes, I've been studying up. I've been following you lately, and you've been like having these great opportunities, and I am very proud of you. Like, I seen a lot of female musicians that went that high, and it's like if a female musician goes to that point, we all win, because it's like in this male dominated world,
right,
we get more overlooked.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it's like we all win, especially with your accomplishments. So I am very proud of you on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So why the bass? Like, what makes you, or who inspires you just to pick up a bass?
I started in middle school, and I took an orchestra class, and the first instrument I saw was an upright bass, and all the girls were going toward the violin, and I didn't want to do what all the other girls were doing. And I'm pretty tall. I'm 5'10", and
wow.
So I've always been tall, and so the upright bass was tall, and I don't know, it just looked cool. It looked cooler to me than the violin. And I grew up listening to a lot of old school music with my dad, Motown and Earth, Wind & Fire, especially Stevie Wonder. And I've always loved the bass. Like, Verdine is my favorite. Verdine Watts, Nathan Watts. I've always loved how the bass felt in music, even growing up. So it was a natural for me to choose to play it.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, me as a guitarist. Mm-hmm. And I now just realized, like, okay, I need to pick up a bass too, because I'm like, when I'm working on a project right now, and I'm like, I'm randomly, thank you, and I'm randomly like getting bass line ideas all of a sudden. I'm like, what in the world? Like, I usually get like guitar riffs and progressions. Now all of a sudden in my dreams, I'm hearing bass ideas now. I'm like,
go for it, girl. Go for it. I'm a bass player who loves guitar, so I'm trying to teach myself guitar so we could just switch.
Hey, we can learn from each other.
Right.
So everybody knows that you play bass, but some don't know that you also sing. And you had a recent solo project. And can you tell our listeners about that?
Yes, I put out, it's just an EP. I put out a cover EP a couple of years ago. It was really for myself, to prove to myself that I would follow through, because I've been thinking about doing it for a while, and I would chicken out, especially because I guess singing, especially singing in the forefront, is very new, like something I hadn't really ever shared, like, that I wanted to do. And I'd done some background stuff here and there, but never really lead for real. And I kept chickening out, and my best friend, who was actually also my engineer, he challenged me to do it and stop procrastinating. And so we recorded that EP in about 5 days, and I wanted to put it out for my birthday, and we got it done. And I'm pretty excited about it. It's just, I gave it away as a gift for my birthday, to others. So it's still a free download if anyone wants to get it. But yeah, and I'm working on a video music this year, so that's exciting.
Well, I actually listened to it, and you have a great voice. People like don't know that musicians like actually have a great voice, vocals, and you have a great voice, and it's like it's really that more time for you to be in that spotlight because you usually be in the background.
Yes.
And it's like this is like your season to come out of that background and be in the front in the spotlight, and you get a chance to shine. So this is like a great season for you. And that's what I'm visioning. Like a lot of people like just hide behind that, and it's like, oh, we can do that later on, but usually it's really time to take risks and just face forward on that. And so that's like a great season for you to come out and take that risk, and people see that other talent besides you playing bass, that you get to share that talent to the world.
Oh, wow. Well, I appreciate this encouragement. Like, you're making me feel I feel great. Thank you.
You have a voice, you have a story. Make sure you share that story to everybody, even the people that never like knew that you can do that.
Man, you're really speaking to me right now. Thank you.
No problem. Well, you've been playing for Janelle Monáe for like how long? You've been playing for her?
I've been with Janelle. It'll be 6 years, going on 7 in December. So I started with her right at the end of 2013.
Well, how did you got that opportunity to do that? To play for her?
Honestly, I feel like it came from God. I got a random call. It was okay. So I really was considering quitting music. It was the end of 2013, and I was just feeling kind of bummed. And I was like, I moved to Atlanta to be a full-time musician, and I didn't know what I felt like I was spinning my wheels a little bit, and I was like, well, maybe I should just get a real job and like hang this up. And I got a random call, like at the beginning of this, towards the end of November, I feel, from this guy who, his name is Decky. And I had met him once before, like when I first moved to Atlanta. So at that time, that was maybe like 4 years prior to that, 4 or 5 years before that. And I had subbed at a church once, and I met this drummer, and just one time. And I guess he remembered me, and he happened to be best friends with Janelle's then music director, and had overheard Terrence talking about me. He's like, I can't find this, I'm trying to get into contact with this girl. And Decky was like, I know her. And Decky gave Terrence my number, and then he texted me, and he's like, hey, Janelle's MD is looking for you. You need to reach out to him. And it was just random, but I called, and I spoke with Terrence, and he was like, okay, send your information. And the next week they set up an interview. I went and met with Janelle, and I got the job. And my first show, we opened for Prince at the Mohegan Sun, like 2 weeks before the year was over. So it all happened so fast. And like, I just tell people, like, I don't have any like big, like secret, like way that I got stuff. I just really feel like from then everything just took off. But I remember my mom, just that July, earlier in that year, my mother had gone to Essence Festival, and she called me, and she was like, Teja, there's this girl, she wears black and white, and her band is amazing, and I could just see you in her band. I think you should audition for her band. And I was like, Mom, that's Janelle Monáe. Like, she's had her band for years. Like, that's not how it works. You can't just audition for people. And she's like, no, I can picture you. I could see it clearly. You in her band at the Essence Festival. I'm like, Mom, no, I just kind of like brushed it off. And fast forward to December, and I'm in her band. And then the very next year we did Essence Festival. And so my mother's vision came to life. Like, I actually was on stage at Essence Festival, like my mother had pictured it. And so it's just, I just really feel, I don't know, I credit all of it to God. Had I never, and like, I had no clue at the time that I met Decky that would flash forward to him, like passing my number to Terrence, and that would, it just, there's no way I could have known that. Only God knew that. And I just think it's also very important that people, like, you never know where your opportunity is going to come from. So but any gig,
Mm-hmm.
any opportunity you have to play, whether it's big or small, if you're subbing, if it's a hidden gig, some major, you never know. I feel like all my major opportunities have come from something small. But imagine had I shown up to that church unprepared, or shown up with a bad attitude, or had mishandled the situation, like I would have maybe not made a good impression on the very person that made the connect for me later on. And so I just say you should always honor whatever opportunities you have to play. One, because it's a blessing to do what we do anyway. Many people hate what they do for a living. We get to play, and and so you should always honor that. But you just never know where the big opportunity is going to come from. So I say just trust God. I give all the credit to God. Honestly, it's nothing I did.
Well, with that opportunity, you got a chance to tour and travel all over the world. And just this year, you just performed at Coachella, and you got a chance to go to the Grammys.
Yes.
Was those like your most memorable opportunities throughout your career, or there's more?
Yeah, well, those the Grammys is like the pinnacle. It's that's probably my best memory. But I mean, I started touring in 2009 with Music Soul Child. I was in his band first, and so that was I always have fond memories of that experience, because that's the first time I ever went overseas. So we went to Europe, and we went to Indonesia and to Japan, and so I've gone to those places again with Janelle, and we've gone to Australia. I've been to South America with Frank McComb. So I feel very fortunate. Within this 10 years I've been touring, I feel like I've done everything that I really wanted to do. Grammys, I didn't think I would get the opportunity to do the Grammys, because most times people might use the house band, or they might not use a full band. But it happened this year, and that's just been, I don't know, it's been the best. The best. The only way I can top that is to go back to the Grammys with my own music. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
We did the White House. That's another great opportunity. Right before President Obama left office, the 4th of July, he had Janelle come play for the 4th of July celebration at the White House. And I got to meet the president and the first lady. It was President Obama asked me if I liked the hot dogs. Yeah, it was really great. It was like something I will never forget. So yeah. It's been a lot of great opportunities, but I guess those two stand out the most.
Oh my God, that is amazing. Like, let's go straight to social media. Like, you created a series called Dear Husband. Like, what made you start that?
It started out as a joke, honestly. I was making, I can't remember what I did, but I made a joke. I made it as a joke post, or just in fun. And then I did it like maybe 2 times. And people started asking me, hey, what else are you going to talk about? What else are you going to say to your... Because I'm kind of known, well, I like to call myself the Hopeless Romantic. Obviously, that's the name of my EP, the Hopeless Romantic. And I like love, and I'm super into all that kind of stuff. And I just started these letters to my future boo. It's like, hopefully it's like kind of like a message in a bottle. You write the letter and you put it in the ocean. Well, this is a virtual ocean, and I'm putting it out there, and maybe my future husband might see it and find me, or at least he'll know how to deal with me, because I feel like I'm an interesting person. So I'm giving him a whole bunch of clues. Hey, this is how to make me happy. Hey, this is what's weird about me. This is what I like to do. This is what I don't like. And then also, it's just kind of a way, I don't know, for me to, to me, it's kind of like a, what do you call it? It's a prayer of sorts. It's just, I'm just kind of putting it out there to the Lord, and like expectancy for what's to come. And so I think I kept getting inboxes from like ladies and even some guys saying like they really appreciated seeing the messages, and they could relate to how I was feeling. And so I just decided to continue it. And I actually bought the domain, Letters to My Future Boo. And I'm going to make, probably just compile all the videos. And so I could just be there. It's like a kind of a living a living letter until he comes along. So yeah, I don't know, it started out as a joke, but it's something I do for fun. Every time I stop it, because I thought at one point maybe it was getting kind of corny, but people people have been they asked for it to come back. So I just keep doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I did read some of them, and like it kind of touched me because like I'm in a relationship now,
Yes.
but hopefully he will be my future husband. It really did, like, you actually tell like what your future husband is and what he like expect from you, or like kind of like your personality. Will he be able to deal with these personalities during the relationship and everything like that? So I really like those. Personally, I really love that.
Thank you so much.
Well, the next question is for all us. Some of us are mostly obsessed with gear. We are a bunch of gearheads. So can you tell our listeners companies you endorse with and how they
I play Schecter guitars. I am a Schecter's guitar artist. I have several of the basses. Right now I call it the Grammy bass. This is the bass I used at Grammys and Coachella. It's the SLS5 Elite is their newest bass. Elite 5. They did a custom paint job for me with like this gray and white. I don't even know what you call it. The paint. It's like a spackle, but it's a custom paint job for it. But it's a great bass. It comes with Fishman pickups, so you get up to 6 settings, like six opportunities to change the settings. And I'm not, if I'm saying the wrong technical terms, I'm sorry. I'm not super techie. I just I know it feels good, or if you're not, but I can't tell you, yeah, this is the, but I have, so it's that one. I have the CL5. I have, oh goodness, the Diamond Jazz 5, and I also have the 4. I can't remember the model number. Excuse me. I'm sorry, Schecter. I can't remember it. But they feel great. I love them. I'm really simple. I'm not too much into mods. I really like my bass to come ready to play. And I feel like with Schecter, that's exactly what I get. As they come stock, they sound great. They feel great. It's quality materials, and they look good too. So I endorse Schecter guitars. I play DR strings. I've been playing for about 8 years. I've been an artist for since I joined Janelle's though. But I played them before I became a DR strings like official artist. Right now I play the neons. I'm kind of known for the neon green strings. But I just recently started playing the neon pink as well. And then before then I played the low beams. So I've always loved DR strings. Reunion Blues Gig Bag, that's the first company that ever gave me an endorsement deal, and so I will always hold them close to my heart. They are an amazing company. I use most often the Continental Voyager Gig Bag. It's a hard soft case. So and even with the bass being as long as it is, I can usually get that case in an overhead compartment on a plane, which is perfect. So I don't have to check my bass ever, unless the airline is just being mean, But if all you gotta do is just walk on the plane and it's like, oh, I like your eyes, and then they just, they'll it's complimentary, and then they'll let you take your bass on. But it's a great gig bag. It's heavy, but it's carryable, and it can survive a 2-story, they call it the 2-story drop test. So if you pushed it off of a 2-story building, your guitar would still be just fine. So if it had to go underneath the plane, it would be fine. But yes, so it's Reunion Blues, DR strings, Schecter guitars. I play Sensophonics. I use Sensophonic in-ears. They are my favorite. I've used other companies before, but these are my favorite. They have the Hilda patent on these the ear molds. They're very pliable. I call them like gummy ears. They're like gummy bears. Yeah. They're very pliable, so they can because of that they can go deeper in your ear canal. And for me as a bass player, it's most important, because a lot of times with other brands with the hard acrylic, if you're which these shows with Janelle even with the corporate band, it's a 3-hour show. It's a lot of sweating. And I do a lot of smiling when I'm playing, or if I'm singing, I'm moving my mouth, and a lot of times I would lose the seal. Once I move, and once the seal is broken as a bass player, the ears are pointless, because I lose all the bass response. So with these ears, and no matter how much I'm moving my mouth, they stay put, and they don't hurt because the material is soft. it's softer, you know, it's much more flexible. So I get far less ear fatigue. My ears aren't ringing after the show because of lost feel. So I really love those ears. I'm using the 3 Max for those. There's 3 drivers, but honestly the 2 Max were just as good. And before I was using more drivers than that with other companies. And to me, now that I have these 3, I'm like, well, I was just paying more money for nothing. Yeah, let's see. I play Kala brand U bass. It's a little ukulele bass. It's so cute. And I just got one. I haven't been able to use it in a show setting yet, but I'm working on it for my own private show. But that's another company that I endorse. There is, I feel like, Ampeg. Ta-da. I was like, what's missing? Yes, I am so excited. I just became an Ampeg artist last year, and Ampeg was the first amp I ever played when I was 16. I started gigging when I was 16, and my mom took me to Mars Music with one of the guys that I used to gig with. We didn't know what to do, and I couldn't use the school's amp, and so we went to Mars Music and we got the little BA 115 combo amp, and I still have that amp and I still use it actually.
Wow.
I'm about to retire it, but I'm 35 now, so that's almost 20 years of this amp. But it's Ampeg, we all know it's a classic company. I am so excited to be an official artist and on tour. I used the SVT7 Pro, and I use 2 of those, and then 2 410s. So one will be for my bass rig and one is for my key bass rig. And personally I had the Portaflex. And I also have the Ampeg, the DI, which is the bomb, especially for gigs where you can't use, like at the church I play for, we don't have cabs on stage. So I can use that DI, especially with my upright bass too. It makes it sound amazing in the house. And in corporate band, we don't use cabs either. So that little DI works wonders for me. I think that's it. I feel like it's one miss. Oh, and then it's not a direct endorsement, but I do. It's like a general endorsement. Roland, I play Roland, the System 8 for tour. I'm not a Roland artist, but they sponsored the tour, so that's the product I play on tour.
Oh, great! By the look of your you do not look like you're 35.
Thank you. I feel like if I ask my knees.
I'm gonna put that out there. You do not look like you're 35.
No, my knees definitely feel like it though.
Well, we have like some listeners are mostly aspiring female musicians. Do you have any advice or tips would you tell them?
Yes, I say 1, believe in yourself. Don't discredit yourself. Don't let people say, oh, you're a girl, you're less than, or have lower expectations because you're a girl. Like, just throw all that stuff away. Like, you are more than capable. There is room for you in this industry, and no matter how much they try to make it feel like, it's not. And there's room for you to be, just not just a gimmick. You shouldn't ever aspire to just be a girl musician. You're just a musician, period. You just happen to be a woman, and that's okay, and like I say, like, it's like you, especially me, I had definitely had to develop like thick skin. You can't take everything personally. You just have to go for it. And I say never settle for just being good enough. Like, it's just kind of the same like with being Black, and I'm sorry if I offend any white listeners or not, but like a lot of times when you're Black, you have to be kind of you have to go like you have to be more than just to be considered equal. It's the same way with being a woman. Like, the chips are already stacked against you in this industry, so you can't settle for just being good enough. You really should just go and try to be go as hard as you can, and it might not always feel like it's fair or that it's equal, but you never want to you just don't want to be discredited for not being enough. Like, just don't settle for just being cute. Don't settle for, just being pretty. And those things help, obviously, in this industry. It's a very, visuals matter a lot, but don't just rest on that. Just be a killer musician and just have fun. Like, you can do it. I don't know. I just say, trust God. If you believe in yourself, most of all, it'll take you wherever you need to go. I don't think I don't consider myself a virtuoso. I never really aspired to be that. I'm not trying to be the next Victor Wooten or whatever. Like I just love to play, and I love to make good music, and I really do feel like God gave me something special, and that's all I've ever had to hold on to. When I started playing in Miami, there weren't any girls on the scene, and it was hard. It was hard. It was really hard, and I didn't have any like allies, like other women to like push me and say you can do it. And a lot of times I felt inadequate. A lot of times I felt, but the only thing that kept me going was like, well, I don't think God gave it to me for nothing, And so I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kept pushing. And that's why I just implore all of us, whatever God gave you is special, it's unique, and don't compare. You can't get caught up in the game of comparison, because you'll always be defeated. You'll always feel not enough. Like whatever you have is what you have. That's what happened with me especially with like singing. Like for years I would not do it because I didn't think I don't have Beyonce chops or gospel runs. Like that's not my thing, and I felt like I wasn't enough or would be good enough. And I still sometimes struggle with like insecurity a little bit, like, well, the people, because I don't think my voice is a typical voice, but I also like God gave it to me, and like so what that's really what you were saying to me earlier, it really did speak to me, like how you said I had a story to tell. Like that's true. Like my story, God gave it to me, and it's up to me to share it. And I feel like all of us, we each have something that God gave us and that he gave no one else, and it's up to you to believe in it and just chase after your dream. Don't be discouraged. You can do it. You can do it. It can be done. It will be done. Like you just gotta believe. When nobody else believes in you, you gotta believe in you. And then sure enough, you'll change people's minds one day.
That is very encouraging. Can you tell everyone where to find you on social media?
Yes, at Hello I'm Teja everywhere. So Hello I am Teja, and that's on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, even though I don't really use it that much. I'm definitely an Instagram girl. And then Facebook, Hello I'm Teja. My website, helloimteja.com. Right now, it'll take you right to my EP download, but I'll be updating the website later on in the year. That's me.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gents. I would like to thank Teja Veal for joining with us today.
Thank you so
you want to, no problem. If you want to catch up with us on social media as well, you can follow us on Fret Sisters on IG and like us on Facebook page on Fret Sisters 1. And if you want to see what I'm doing behind the scenes and for my music, anything like that, you can follow me on IG and Storm Music Official, or you can like my Facebook page at Storm Music. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Mickey92685. I would like to thank Teja for joining us. And until then, to our next episode of Between Frets, I'm Shawnee Marshall, and thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, good people. This is Lacole Rose. If you'd like to be featured on one of our Between Frets podcasts, you can email us at fretsistersmusic@gmail.com, or you can DM us at Fret Sisters on Instagram. We would love to hear about your musical journey. And as always, thank you for listening.